Well, good evening. I know this is a bit of a pop up. I wanted to check in and just really give you all a personal invitation to join me for my upcoming masterclass. But before I just get straight to business, I just want to tell you it's so incredible to be back home. I had an incredible trip, an incredible experience. I have never taken a 21-day journey before, but it was beautiful. To be able to spend 14 days in Bali and then follow that up immediately with 7 days in Singapore was just absolutely a priceless experience. And so I am grateful to be back to the US. I am grateful to be back into my business and be able to share with you some of the things that I got as downloads and revelations while I was traveling abroad. And one of them is one of the biggest mistakes that I often see corporate women make when starting a business is they focus too much on the impact and not enough on the income. Let me say that again. There's too much focus on the impact, and the impact is important. It's the thing you've been called to do. But when we focus on that and don't give as much attention to the income, we become lopsided. The purpose matters and the fulfillment matters too. But without a plan for income, the business that you're so passionate about will not be sustainable. And the only way that you're going to effectively make that corporate to entrepreneur journey is to make sure you prioritize having a plan for your money. Impact and income must go hand in hand because without income, focusing on impact alone will burn you out. And without impact, focusing on money alone will leave you empty. So they absolutely go hand in hand. So when you are designing the right business for yourself, when you are taking into consideration what it is that you feel called to do, you have to prioritize the money part too. You are called to build something powerful. You are called to build something lasting. You are called to build something aligned, but you are also called to ensure that you have the right strategies for it to be profitable. So while I was traveling abroad and seeing all this movement of money and seeing all this experience of prosperity, what the revelation to me was is that I needed to come back and really talk about how to design your business in a way that it pays you money. So here's my thing. I believe that we have to stop guessing. We have to stop hoping, and we have to be really intentional about growing our businesses right at the beginning. We have to take into consideration both impact and income right at the start. So at this time next week, I will be hosting my next free masterclass. And this masterclass is focused on helping corporate women design businesses that pay money. It's going to be next Monday, October the 6th at 7:30 virtually, and you can join me from anywhere. But I want you to get in the room because the right business is not just about being meaningful, it's about being profitable too. So if you go to www.jointhemasterclass.live, you can get in the room and spend some real focused time on how you can ensure that you understand how to design your business the right way from the very start. Now, as I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about what's likely causing us to shrink, is some of the fears that come along with profit, that come along with making money. And it seems really odd because as you are a corporate success and as you're having success in your career, doing whatever it is you do professionally, you're used to the flow of money happening. But when you jump into business, sometimes you shrink back. You give yourself all of these reasons why you can't do it. And all of those reasons are making you stall out. And so I want to talk just a little bit, just very briefly, because I won't be on here long. I want to talk very briefly about some of the fears that you may be running into that is holding you back from designing a business that will pay you. So, the first fear you may be running into when you're thinking about going from corporate to entrepreneur, when you're thinking about the business you want to start, is the fear of losing financial security. And that's a real thing. You have attained a great deal of success in your career. You've attained income that is meaningful to you and your family. And so when you think about potentially putting that at risk, it really feels like you're going to jeopardize your lifestyle. So you're asking yourself, what if I leave behind this steady corporate paycheck and my business can't replace it? And that's a very real fear. And what I will tell you is that there is a strategy that not only starts your business, but there's also a strategy that's going to accelerate it so that the pivot isn't a hard launch, but it's one that builds over time. And so if you're dealing with this sense and this fear of losing that financial security, there is an approach that ensures that you don't fall into the risk of jeopardizing your lifestyle, but that you take a strategic approach at making the pivot. The next fear is the fear of not knowing the numbers. And I hear this all the time. I'm not a numbers person. I can't understand. What if I mess it up? Because in corporate, those reports and those dashboards are all put together for you. But in entrepreneurship, you are not only the CEO at the start, but you're also the CFO. And that can feel a little bit intimidating. And you think to yourself, I'm not a numbers person, so I may mess all of this up for my business. And what I want to reassure you is that you are brilliant and you are smart and you can learn it. And if you were able to accomplish math in elementary school, then you can accomplish knowing what you need to do for your numbers. You just need to get with someone who is going to show you how to understand all of the factors that are going to make a difference in your business. And so this fear of not knowing numbers, or this label you put on yourself of not being a numbers person, is actually holding you back from being able to lean into what you're already capable of doing. You just need someone to show you, and then you can run with it. The next fear that may be holding you back is this fear that you may waste time and money. You're asking yourself, what if I invest in the wrong model? And what if it doesn't pay off? And this is really interesting because I do see women who start to spin their wheels and they chase these shiny objects. They often chase what other people give them glimpses into on social media instead of really what's in their heart. And so one of the things about the model that I work with my clients to really put into place, we don't chase shiny objects. We chase purpose. We chase what you're called to do. And so we don't just go after some ready-made model that you might have heard about from some pitch. We talk about what it is that you feel led to do. That is going to ensure that you don't waste time about it. And developing the right model is one that fits for what you're called to do. And it will pay off because you'll be working in purpose. The next fear, which is a very interesting fear, is the fear of pricing wrong. What if I charge too much? What if I charge too little? What is the right price to charge? What if nobody buys? It's the spiraling thought that you have in your head around pricing. And it's a really big deal because deep down, the real fear is, are you undervaluing your expertise, or are you overpricing in a way that makes the business risky? And having an understanding of how to price your business for the market, how to price your offer so that they can sell, how to have an offer suite so that you can downsell effectively is the right strategy to make sure that you not only value what you bring to the table, but that you can meet the needs that are in the marketplace. The next fear that's out there is the fear of effort without reward. What if I work harder than I ever did in corporate and still don't see the results? And a lot of people see this happen because they get into this side side hustle energy instead of empire building energy or CEO energy. This side hustle energy says if I just throw more effort at it, if I work harder at it, it should be able to materialize for me. And this is when you start to spiral because you don't see the results from working harder. You see results from working more strategically. You see the results happen in a way that you're able to pay yourself when you operate with a plan and you operate with strategy. And finally, the last fear that falls into helping us feel like we can't understand how to manage or run our business is what if we make the leap too soon? What if I leave corporate before my business is financially ready? And this is really making sure you know what are the right indicators to look at. It feels very high stakes. It feels like a gamble. It feels like a risk when you make the move too soon. So you got to know what are the right factors and what's the right plan for that pivot. Now, all of these fears actually feed into keeping you stagnant and stuck. They keep you paralyzed because you stay in your head and the racing thoughts are there that makes you think you can't run the business, that you can't build it, that you can't grow it in a way that will allow you to effectively move into full-time entrepreneurship if that's what you desire. And these are the things that I am going to crack wide open in the masterclass that'll be taking place next Monday evening. That's absolutely free. I am going to cover a simple way to track the 4 key numbers that will make a big difference in your business. I am also going to cover how to reverse engineer your income goals so that you know what it takes to build them up. I'm also going to cover the strategy that replaces fear with clarity. Now, I felt led to do this because the only way you're going to get the right business off the ground in a way that it will pay you is you've got to design it that way from the start. You have to start to believe that your business can sustain you, that it is stable, that it can be profitable, and that it is worth building. And from that belief, you have to execute the strategy and plan to get there. And so what I've been doing with these masterclass series that I've been sharing, this past last week, I shared one about the 5 mistakes. Next, I'm going to share one about how to design your business to be profitable for the start. It is really me doubling down to show you the strategies that make a difference in launching the right business. And all of those strategies tie back to what I call the corporate to entrepreneur method. It's 5 steps in that method. It begins with clarifying your purpose. It moves into defining your positioning, developing your business model, and strategizing for revenue. And that is what we're doing with this next masterclass. We're diving deeper into step number 4 of the method, which is strategizing the revenue with offers that match your value and not just your time. In the workplace, you're used to exchanging time for money. But when you begin to build your business, you have to match to the value you bring to the marketplace, the one that you position in a way that solves problems. And the last of the method, just to make sure I say all 5 steps, is to begin to lead like a CEO. Now, the corporate to entrepreneur method is something that I am helping my clients to go through so that they can launch the right businesses. We are going to go deeper next Monday on strategizing for the revenue. I want you to really prioritize as we get into this 4th quarter, the goal that you had for this year to start your business. There are so many people who started the year with that as their goal, but they have not moved forward. They have not had any momentum that way. Hey, Nicole, thank you for checking in with me. They have not had any momentum in that way. But I want you to realize that right now, as we get ready to move into the 4th quarter of this year, the 4th quarter starts this week. On October 1st, we are at the beginning of closing out the year. And I don't want to rush you, but I do want you to know that you are sitting at a green light. You are at the moment where you need to understand that that green light means go. When you're at a traffic light, red means stop, yellow means prepare, but green means go. And we are at the green light. Now, I want you to imagine for yourself, you're sitting there and the light has already changed, but you're not moving. You are not moving, and the light has already changed for you. Cars behind you are honking. People beside you are starting to pull away. And there you sit with your foot on the brake, staring at the opportunity in front of you, but refusing to move. This fourth quarter start is your green light to not only finish strong, but to do what you said you wanted to do this year, which was to start your business. Now, I want to help you do that in the right way with the right strategies that will ensure that you have some income generating from it, not just a feel good. And there's so many people who got a lot of feel good from the business, but it's not generating money. And you need to go and design your business in a way that the money will follow. So while you're sitting here with this green light to go, you have your signal already. You feel the nudge already, and the opportunity is 100% clear to you. But all of those fears that I talked about, all of that hesitation that you sense, and all of that overthinking has you frozen. The one thing that I am so glad I was able to conceive for myself is that if God made it happen for someone else, He has already told me He is not a respecter of person, that He can make it happen for me too. I just need to seek help, wisdom, and guidance to get it for myself. And in this moment, you don't want to lose the opportunity to generate momentum and move yourself forward, because chances will pass you. They will pass you by. And right now, the lane is wide open for you to proceed forward, because this is your green light. I want you to know that you have waited long enough at the red, and you have tiptoed through the yellow, but now it's time for you to go. So the real question that I have for you is, will you still be sitting here, this same place, at the end of this year? We are in the March to December 31st, and your business needs to be launched in the right way. Not only because you need multiple streams of income in this season, but you have been called to make an impact. You have been called to generate revenue. And if you don't move forward and do that, the chance will pass you by. The biggest disappointment and the biggest regret is to find yourself in this same space this time next year. That is the biggest disappointment and the biggest regret. And that is not what I want for you. So here's the deal. I have been showing up with these free master classes because I believe in this season we need to be more enterprising. And I am sowing seeds forward into the lives of those people who know they have been called to make an impact. And they know that the fulfillment that they're longing for and desire is tied to that work. And if that is you, you need to grab one of these lifelines and begin to move forward with the green light that you have been given. So the class that is taking place on next Monday is the Corporate Woman's Guide to Designing a Business That Pays. It comes straight out of my Corporate to Entrepreneur method. This is about strategizing for revenue so that you can understand how to unleash that in your business from the start. From the very start, you will understand how to be more strategic and how to look at the right indicators so that as you move forward, you'll know how to scale it and grow. And so this is my personal invitation. I wanted to pop up. I was wrapping up my day. I was in fact supposed to be on a different call. And when that call got canceled, I said to myself, this is a chance for me to go live and extend a personal invitation for you to join me next Monday. October the 6th at 7:30 Eastern in a virtual space. You can get there by simply registering at www.jointhemasterclass.live. When you register, you'll get a calendar link with the Zoom link to join me on next Monday. And during the course of that, I am going to help you understand how to eliminate the fear around the numbers and how to begin building your business and designing your business to be profitable from day one. And so this again is my personal invitation to you one last time. And if you look in the caption of this message, wherever you are watching, you will see the link for you to be able to get involved in this experience. I just realized at the bottom of this is scrolling a different URL. So let me stop that. The right link is www.jointhemasterclass.live, Live. When you go there, you'll see more about this free class that I'm going to be teaching, the Corporate Woman's Guide to Designing a Business That Pays Money. Not one that gives you all the feel goods, but the one that is actually going to put some money in your pocket. So if this is for you, make sure you're in the room. If this is for somebody you know, please share this with them. Be your sister's keeper. Please share this with them so that they can take part in the masterclass next Monday. And I will look forward to seeing you guys then. It is so incredible to be back in the USA, but I had an incredible experience in Bali and Singapore. And I hope that you had a chance to take in some of the images and pictures, but I will tell you, the world is bigger than what we know here. Money is in a struggle everywhere, and it's time for you to understand how to design your business in a way that it pays you and it makes money. So I will see you next Monday. Go to www.jointhemasterclass.live and get in the room with me. Have a good night. Bye-bye.